term a cappella actually comes from the Spanish, as did many of our cowboy terms, such as hackamore, which came from jacama, and lariat, which came from la reata, dally, which came from dar la vuelta. The term a cappella came from the Spanish term Acapulco. I found that out one winter when I had been singing for the boys in the bunkhouse, and I had finished a particularly masterful rendition of Little Joe the Wrangler, and was waiting for the compliments which I knew would be coming my way, when the oldest cowboy in the bunkhouse, Sid, looked at me and said, "Son, I sure do like that singing, Acapulco." Well, me not wanting to embarrass the old gentleman, because I'm courteous and educated, as you can tell, said, "Thank you, Sid, but what I think you mean is you like that singing a cappella." He looked at me and he said, "No, son. What I mean is I would like for you to do your singing in Acapulco. Anywhere but this here bunkhouse." That's when Sid explained to me that the term a cappella actually means to sing off key and out of tune. And I am the foremost practitioner of the art alive today. So a little campfire ditty called Trouble's A Bruin. We were hunkered at the wagon warming up the evening air when old Cussy Lee allowed he'd tell a story about a bear. So I poured some more Jamocha and I settled on my roll. For when Cussy blows a windy part, the devil pays the toll. Boys, I'm gray and grim and grizzled, and my fangs are long and keen, and I've howled the whole world over from the pole to Argentine. Oh, the reaper's done his dangdest, but the worst for raising hire was a consecrating Christianizing ruckus with a bear. Well, the scene was high and lonesome in the spring of '99. Winter's tough in old Montana, chopping ice and riding line. When beans are daily victuals and a rabbit is a treat, then a ganted wolf's a puppy dog to punchers craving meat. Boys, my belly button's getting mighty friendly with my spine, and a roast of bear or venison would suit me mighty fine. So with Henry in the scabbard and a 6-gun at my side, I packs my rig on Punkin for to take a little ride. But if I had known what was waiting down the trail, I'd just stayed home and you'd never hear the tale. Good Lord, fellas, I mean to tell you, I ain't yellow, but I would turn tail. Well, the bloom was on the midder and the bees was dancing round when old Punkin pricked his ears and pointed like a settin' hound. So I hitched him to a willer with a noose around his neck, and I primed and powdered Henry for to raise a little heck. Stack me up 1,000 Bibles or my name ain't Cussy Lee. There's the hugest silver grizzly that I ever hope to see, but I'm a locoed proposition contemplating on a wreck, and the itchin' lust for killin' swelled the wattles on my neck. Drawed a bead between his blinkers, then I cocked the hammer back, and like David rocked Goliath, boys, I dropped him in his track. I screamed a wild Comanche war whoop, peeled the skinner from my belt, and commenced to confiscating Mr. Bruin of his pelt. But the bear reared up, bigger than a tree. The bear reared up there for all the world to see. The ball that cut him down had only creased his crown. He was looking all around, and then the bear seen me. Well, my single shot was empty and I hadn't time to load. I was busy burning bridges, boys, and building me a road. All the birds and forest critters I left swirling in the wind. If the bear had fired a bullet, boys, it wouldn't break my skin. Say, I never touched a stirrup. I just gave a mighty bound. When I hung the hooks in Punkin, boys, we left the grazing ground. Lord, a monkey on a missile never stood a sacred hope of catching me in Punkin if I'd only cut the rope. That reatter snapped and popped my tail and busted my balloon. While old Punkin turned to Somerset, a comet shot the moon with a howling hairy locomotive 30 feet behind. That willer whomped the grizzly bear and slapped him black and blind. If you think a hawk can split the breeze, you should have seen me roam. I was hunting safe for residence from Panama to Nome with my ears a-touching in the back. My spurs were spitting sparks. Boys, I redefined velocity since Noah built the ark. With my chaps and vest a-flapping in the wind like angel wings. Lord, I cleared them cliffs and canyons like a kangaroo with springs. Neither rivers, lakes, nor waterfalls could cause my boots to fret. Took a lesson from the Bible, boys, and never got 'em wet. I defied the laws of physics, fleeing frantic from the beast. For my shadow passed me wheeling west, while I was sailing east. Scaled a mountaintop to look around, and there upon my track was my faithful pony Punkin, with the grizzly on his back. He was whipping with the leather. He was wearing my old hat. He was hooking with his grabbers, pumpkin whizzing like a bat. Boys, I threw the brake and cracked the whip and started pulling freight. But that hairy puncher passed me like I'd never left the gate. Oh, a bronco-busting Bruin is a seldom sight to see. And I swallowed hard for pumpkin parts, but what the heck? Better him than me. So I thanked the Lord and lucky stars that I had been so blessed. And I crawled into a cave and lay my weary bones to rest. But the cave was dark. As I nestled for my nap, the bear was there, and I snuggled in his lap. The bed was mighty furry. I begun to fret and worry, and I reckoned I should hurry when I heard him snap. Hard to figure who was scared, or was it me or Mr. Bear? We was jawing, pawing, clawing, and my teeth was full of hair. Such a sanctifying tussle as we tumbled to the light. Mr. Bruin with my pistol was a squinting down the sight. I was wobbled, whipped, and wounded. I was needing some relief. And right then and there I plumb forgive the brute that caused me grief. But he must have shared my sentiments, 'cause much to my surprise, he spun the gun around and took a ball between the eyes. Say, compadres, here's the lesson. If you crave a bear for meat, leave your boots at home and wear them running shoes upon your feet. And if hunting Mr. Grizzly constitutes your brand of fun, then be sure that you, or the bear at least, knows how to shoot a gun.